Hey guys, it's your pal Victor here from Cult Classics and Cult Following, and hey, it's time for the full spoiler review for Loki, Episode 2. You know we gotta talk about it. What? So yeah, we just finished Loki Episode 2, and let's just say it right now. Female Loki. What? Lady Loki? Lady Loki, female Loki. She is the Loki variant that our Loki variant has to hunt down. So we've got Loki versus Loki is the crux of this series. And man, female Loki does not fuck around. Her plan is pretty darn insidious, as we find out in this episode. From the beginning, let's take it from the top. So we see Loki. He's settling in at the TVA, arguing with Miss Minutes, which is a very cute sequence. And he's finding out, kind of what their job is, and their job is to prevent red lines. And red lines are basically when there's so many incursions to the sacred timeline that the sacred timeline is destroyed. I think it's sort of like a Nexus event on Doctor Who, where if you go back to this certain points so many times, it just destroys the timeline. And I don't know how strongly I feel about the fact of how, should we protect the sacred timeline, because I'm all about the multiverse. I want more multiverse wars. But yeah, Loki, he's getting into his job as an office drone, and he kind of develops a theory, a very fun theory, that female Loki, or time variant Loki's hunting down, is actually hiding out in apocalypse scenarios, because nothing you can do in a class 10 apocalypse, I think was the phrasing, matters, because everyone's going to be destroyed anyway. So you can fuck around with a time stream in any kind of way you want in a spot that is going to be obliterated, and there will be no record of it. And Loki and Mobius test out this theory by going to Pompeii before Mount Vesuvius erupts, which is awesome and very much a Doctor Who thing. I'm not going to say this episode's biting Doctor Who. What I'm saying is this episode very much has the vibe of a Doctor Who episode. So if you like Doctor Who, you're going to like this episode. But yeah, so, Loki and Mobius go to Pompeii, and then they have a theory, and, there's a research scene, which is cute. And basically they find out that at some point in the future, there's going to be a hurricane that obliterates a store called Roxxon Cart, which is basically the point where Roxxon Oil Corporation becomes Walmart or Amazon. So there's all these people huddled in a Roxxon Cart store, which is at some point in the future. Loki's going in there. Oh, and there's also a part right before this, which I also really liked, where, Loki lays down this whole thing about, I know what to do, and almost snows Mobius. It's like, you almost had me, Loki. So, before all that happened, at the very beginning of the episode, we have, it starts off where we think is the medieval times, but is literally like a Renaissance fair, where they're hunting down the time variant, which we saw at the end of last episode. She's, basically luring TVA agents into ambushes to take their time charges. And this is where we find out from last week and this week. She, once Loki gets to a point where, he kind of knows where the time variant is hiding. And the way they do the whole thing with the time variant, kind of being able to possess people, is kind of fun, especially when Loki gets into a big fight with our favorite TVA agent, who's B-15, I believe. Ruby from Lovecraft Country. Starts possessing people a la the Denzel Washington movie Fallen, and Loki's whole thing here is like, well, no. Now that he knows the Infinity Stones ain't worth a crock of shit, he wants to take over the TVA, and he's trying to be like, I'm going to overthrow the TVA. I could use a strong right hand. And it's like, Time Variant Loki's like, yeah, no, I don't think so. And that's where we get the crux of Time Variant Loki's plan once we get a face-to-face look at Time Variant Loki and find out that, yes, in fact, it is Lady Loki. Played by Sophia DiMartino, who kind of does have a little bit of a look to Tom Hiddleston, but has blonde hair. I dig the look. And her plan, as you can see, is she's got all those little time bombs set up that are meant to lay different time charges. And time charges, if you don't remember, are basically those little things that it's like the thing in Men in Black that blacks people out so they don't remember shit. Basically, it's like a little disintegration thing that destroys things related to time variant energy, and she's just got this massive bomb, and it's just, of all these little bombs all hooked together, and it's like boom, 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 and you can see they're redlining all over the place. And she walks through and leaves that door open, and Mobius and the TVA agents are like, no, don't go inside, Loki, whatever. And he follows right through, and that's where this episode leads up. And now this is what's going to open up a lot of interesting theories. Does Loki want to team up with other Loki girl? I don't know, we'll come up with it, Floki, whatever. What's up with Mobius? He sure does have a lot of trust in Loki, trusts him to kind of want to change and do the right thing. I'm still kind of on my theory that Mobius might also be a Loki variant. I mean, there's things in episode 1 that kind of put that to the test, but I wouldn't be shocked if, there's a possibility there. But yeah, I don't know. What's Loki's loyalty to the TVA in this scenario? I don't know. These are questions that we're going to have to talk about. But I will say, I'm excited to see more of female Loki. I'm excited to see where Loki is going. I love this little variant jacket. But yeah, we'll see. Until next time, join us next week. We won't have a non-spoiler preview, or a light spoiler preview like we did these past 2 weeks, but we will have a live reaction at the end of the episode. So tune in, join us next week for episode 3 of Loki. Until next time, subscribe, Cult Classics, hit the bell icon so you know when new videos come up. All right, until next time.